Kan. Shabbat Shalom Yasharala.
Shabbat Shalom.
Kan. Our praise is due to the Most High. Bashem Mashkawshai. Kan. All praise is due to the Most High. Bashem Mashkawshai. And we salute all the Hebrew Israelites through the four corners of the earth where we were scattered. Okay, my name is El Lapalal. To my left is Captain Amawan. We are the Light of Zion. Okay, we're here down in South Florida. But to bring out the word of the Most High. Today's topic is going to go into the historical context of the 3 wars that Americans were engaged in. Today we're going to focus on the Spanish-American War and the late 1800s. Go. Let's start with Colossians 3:17.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 23.
3:17.
Verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, to all in the name of the other one, Yahushai, give thanks to the Most High and the Father by him.
Right. Whatever you do in word or deed, whether it's in words that come out of your mouth or your action or even your thoughts, make sure you do everything in the context of keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and show respect unto the Mashiach Yahushua and the Most High. Okay? Like I said, we're gonna focus today on the history of the Spanish-American War of around 1898, somewhere around there, and what caused it and what ensued after that war, and how that impacted on the nation of Israel, and what the nation of Israel had to do with the war. Okay, now let's start off with we'll start off with chapter Daniel chapter 7, and see how the prophecies of the Most High impacted on that war. Daniel chapter 7, start verse 1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had an eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and may stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Right, so this was during the time of the Babylonian captivity, where Daniel of the tribe of Judah was taken from Jerusalem during the time of the Babylonian captivity in the about 600 or so BC, 580, 590, somewhere around there. Brought because the more progressive, more prosperous, more intelligent, more intelligent, more prosperous, the ones who look as if they could contribute more to the Babylonian society, empire. Those are the ones, the top of the lines one. Those are the ones, more intelligent ones. Those are the ones who were brought from Jerusalem into Babylon, and Daniel was included amongst them. Yes, it said in verse 4, it says that about the four beasts. The four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. They were different. Diverse meaning they were different. Each of those four beasts had their own characteristics that distinguish one from the other. The first one was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon his feet as a man, and man's heart was given unto it. That's talking about the Babylonian Empire. And then risen up from a low state and given wisdom. Given wisdom because the Most High, it's the Most High who always raises up these different nations, man, to perform whatever role the Most High wants them to perform. On the time the Most High deems that the Babylonians were the ones who are going to be ruling. So the Most High gave them the wisdom and the might to rule even over his own people, Israel, because of our disobedience. And so that they also could rule over the other nations. Read.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, and a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
Right. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. That's talking about the Persian and Medes. Persian, it was like a dual nation empire. The Persian and the Medes, two different nations, but there was like you could say, an alliance of sort. And it raised up itself on one side, meaning one of those nations were more or less dominant, the dominant nation of the two. The Persians were the more dominant nation. They were more dominant over the Medes, even though they were in collaboration. Like a 1-2 punch. They were in collaboration, but the Persian was a more influential and more dominant of the two. Read. That was the second beast.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also 4 heads.
Right. And verse 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. It's the third one. He's talking about what? Oh, now the Greek, Alexander the Greek. Alexander the Greek was a famous wearing the leopard skin hat. I'm saying that's what that's talking about. Which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The 4 wings of a fowl is talking about the Alexander's 4 top generals who succeeded him after Alexander died, because Alexander only ruled for a short period of time, like maybe 12 years or so. And when he died, his kingdom, which is a vast kingdom, was divided amongst his 4 top generals. So so we're talking about right here, we're talking about 333 BC around there, which is first the first king was Babylon. It was like 600 or so BC. After that, the Persian Medes because they were released from captivity 538 BC, so they ruled maybe like in the 500 or so BC also. Then Alexander the Greek started ruling about 333 BC. Then he ruled for like 12 years or so. Then his kingdom was divided amongst his 4 top generals. Read on.
Verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Right, the beast had 4 heads. That's talking about the 4 top generals. Like I said, dominion was given unto it, because after Alexander the Greek died, his kingdom was divided, and one of those top generals, Antiochus Epiphanes, which gave up people out of hell, man. He was the one who would spread this so-called Hellenistic, doctrine in which our people, Hebrew Israelites, came to be known as Greeks because they too much tribulation, abandoned their heritage, their nationality, and took on the customs of the Greeks and the other nations, and become what they call Hellenized. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and beheld a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Right. Now this is talking about the Romans. The Romans, they were the ones that basically started dominating Israel about about 63 or so BC around that time. Because after Israel revolted against the Greeks and had independence from like maybe 100 years or so, then the Romans we basically through internal affairs, through internal conflicts, we kind of appealed to the Romans, and the Romans took advantage of our internal conflicts and and strengthened themselves within our borders to the point that they started dominating us. That was about like 60-something or so BC. Well, go ahead, Doc.
Elder, Daniel described the first three beasts as an animal. What about the fourth one? Like the first one was a lion, the second one a bear, the third one a leopard. But he described the animal, the fourth one. Is it in the scriptures?
Okay, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. It has great iron teeth, and devoured and breaking pieces, stamped residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. It doesn't describe this fourth beast as right. You're right. It doesn't describe this fourth beast as an animal. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
That's right. Now I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. You know what? Like we said, we just read about the Romans being the fourth beast, and they came up out of the Romans another little horn, because it's talking about America. If you pay attention, America is like, American society is like an adaptation of the Greco-Roman society. A lot of the policies and government structure of America is based on how things were back in ancient Rome. You have the House of Congress, of the Senate, and all that, Parliament. That's basically how the Roman Republic was structured back in the time. And that later on, which is America, before whom there were, read verse 8 again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 8. Mm-hmm. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn,
which is America. This is after the Roman Empire, because we all know, in the book of Revelation, where it tells about the 710, or Rome was in 193 AD. Was the Romans were taken down by Septimius Severus, and after that we had Jake. Israel, amongst other nations, ruled for like 1,000 years, and then we had a Renaissance where Esau got rebirth. You know what I'm saying? Now with Renaissance, where we're the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Turks, Esau came back into rulership Understand? And then we have slavery. Yeah, we have the transatlantic slave trade, where the different Edomite nations. Understand? This include including the Spaniards, so-called Spaniards, Spain, and Portugal, and all that. I'm saying assaulted our people, enslaved our people. Understand? That's how and from also the British, of course, the British. They were the ones, especially, who brought the slaves to the Caribbean islands and the Americas, to particularly the United States of America. Read verse 8 again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
I considered that the horns, and behold, they came up among them another little horn. That other little horn is talking about America, because America came out of the Roman Empire. Understand? Before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. These three horns were plucked up by the roots. What are these three horns that were plucked up by the roots? Historically, put this into historical perspective. It's talking about the Spaniards. It's talking about the British. Let's talk about the French. Talking about the Spanish-American War. It's talking about the British-American War and the French-American War. That's what those three horns that were plucked up by the roots. These are three different nations that America, through its history, waged war against, to establish its prominence as a force to be reckoned with in modern history. Read.
Whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and the mouth speaking great things. Mean what? Proud, arrogant, boastful, puffed up. And that's basically talking about all the Edomite nation in their rulership, but in particular, that's talking about America. That's the nation that's a little horn that came out of the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. And that's the nation that took down the dominance over the Spanish-American, the Spanish, the French, and the British. Let me see. Let's jump to. Let me see what verse I want to jump to. I don't want to read the whole chapter for time's sake. Let me try to consolidate this. Okay. Get me Micah chapter 2 verse 1. As a matter of fact, go back to Daniel. Daniel chapter 7 jump to verse 15.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 15. Mm-hmm. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me.
Yeah, Daniel was troubled by all this. What am I seeing? I never saw anything like this before. Read.
I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this.
Right. So Daniel was inquiring of one of the angels that was nearby him in the vision that he was having. What is all this talking? What is all this about? Read.
So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four and are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth.
Right. So Daniel, because remember Daniel was having this dream when he was in the Babylonian captivity. Understand? So the vision that he was having started with events that were taking place more or less immediately in his time and also into the future. Okay? So the angel explained to him that these four beasts were four kings that were ruling various kingdoms from the time of Daniel going forward. Right?
Verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, forever and ever.
Right. But the angel assured Daniel, regardless of what you're seeing right now, don't be dismayed. These four beasts that I'm showing you are vicious, strong, and dominant. But the saints of the Most High, what are the saints of the Most High? The Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, West Indian, Asian Puerto Ricans, Native Indians. We are the saints of the Most High. And according to biblical prophecy, that the angel was given to Daniel, we shall take the kingdom forever, even forever. You know what? There's no end to the rulership that the Most High is going to bestow upon Israel. So once we go through all these captivities that we have to go through, and the Mashiach Yahushua returns and brings us back into rulership, our dominance is going to be eternal. Right?
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was the Roman Empire, right?
Which was diverse from all the others.
Which was diverse from all the others. Maybe that's why they didn't show, an animal representation of that fourth beast, right?
Exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell.
Right. And of the 10... Oh, Jake passed with a noise. Then I will show you the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. That's how dominant he was. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and of the 10 horns that was in his head, that's talking about 10 different nations, Edomite nation that came out following the Roman Empire, and of the other which came up, the other talking about America. Understand? The other would, and of the other which we read earlier in verse 8. And before whom 3 fell. This other America, 3 nations fell. Understand? In the process of time, we're going to go over those 3 different nations. We're going to focus today on the Spanish. It's one of the nations that fell. One of the 10 horns. Understand? Which is one of the nations that fell before America. Before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Because America right now is puffed up more than any other nations. I mean, you just look at the president the way he talks. Look at Trump and the way he talks. He's more puffed up than any of the other Edomite rulers. He's more puffed up than the Prime Minister of England, of Germany, France, Italy, Portugal, Spain. He's more, he's proud. Start, you know what I'm saying? That he's exercising now his dominance over those nations, all nations of the earth, at least in speech. 21.
Verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
I beheld, and the same horn, yeah, that little horn, America, made war with the saints. What are the saints again? America. I mean, the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Mosquito, Haitian, Puerto Ricans, Native Indians, West Indians. I beheld, and the same horn, America, made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Yeah, they prevailed against us. We got out of us say before 400 years. Read.
Verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
So that little horn, America, made war with the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Haitian, Puerto Ricans, Native Indians, West Indians, and prevailed against us until the Ancient of Days came, the Most High, through the Mashiach Yahushai came, and judgment, meaning power, was given to the saints, the Hebrew Israelites, the saints of the Most High. And the time came, read.
Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So all this right now reading about is future prophecy. Understand? So they ruled over us. Right now they are still ruling over us. But when the Mashiach Yahushai comes, put us back into rulership, give us the power to rule over our nations, we shall possess the kingdom. Now, read verse 20 again. Then get Micah chapter 2.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Right. So, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell. 3 fell, like I said, the Spaniards, the British, and the French. Okay. Now, I'm going to focus on the Spanish, because in 1492, the Spaniards were the first European nation to sail westward across the Atlantic Ocean and colonize the American Indians in America, and in Puerto Rico, in Cuba, in Central America. So that was one of the most dominant forces, during that time, the 1492, when you have like Ponce de Leon, Cortez, there's Columbus and those guys, and the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and those boats came from Queen Isabel of Spain, sailing from Spain to this part of the world, and they possess various places like Puerto Rico, Cuba, Central and South America. Except for Brazil, it was the Portuguese, which are right next to the Spain who control the Brazilians. Now our focus now is going to be like in the early age up into, and they basically dominated. They basically ruled this hemisphere for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we know the British were in rulership in America. British were rulership in America from, like 1600s or so on. The British control like the so-called West Indies. The French control like was Haiti and the various other French islands. Okay, so fast forward to like that 1890s, right next door to America, which is there was Cuba, basically like more 90 miles or so away from America. In no time you can reach Cuba sailing from America. And who was in charge of Cuba? The Spaniards. And during that time, the sugar plantation, the sugar was a major industry. And in Cuba, was one of the main, one of the biggest sugar producing nations on this earth. America had investment in there, but Spain was governing it. Spain was colonizing it. So Spain was the ruler of Cuba, which was like, I mean, a obstacle to America, because America, they want to dominate wherever they can possibly. Okay, so there was a lot of internal conflicts going on, because a lot of our people, a lot of Hebrew Israelites down in Cuba. And I said the Spaniards are ruling over them. And of course, anywhere Edomites are ruling over people, whether they're from Spain, Portugal, Britain, Ireland, Italy, wherever, you're all the same, regardless of what language you speak. So there was domestic conflicts going on in Cuba, where the Spaniards were more or less ruling with vigor over the Israelites in Cuba. And the Cubans, they want to revolt. So America pretended to be in support of the Cuban people against Spain, and they were kind of more or less interfering in the rulership of what was going on in Spain. You know what I'm saying? So to the point that there was like warfare, there was like a little revolt going on, and I'm sure Esau being the way it was, and always trying to interfere in other people's internal affairs, on the slide and under the table. They were sponsoring certain the rebels, the Cuban rebels, to rise up against Spain. Understand? So to the point the conflict got so heated down there between the Spaniards, who were the colonized, who were the rulers of the people of Cuba. Understand? The people of Cuba, like we're talking about now the 1890s. They were ruling over the people of Cuba now. So now America now, America supposedly, saying they're just innocent observers. So they sent their Navy ship. They sent the Navy ship close to the Havana Harbor, Cuban Harbor. This Navy ship was the USS Maine. Understand? USS Maine. In about in the 1890s, 1897, around there. So a lot of they said, hey, we're not going to interfere. We're just here to observe what's going on. But lo and behold, the ship got blown up. The USS Maine. Can I get a USS Maine? See if we can get it up there. Yeah, Khan. See that? Yeah, that's it. That's a depiction right there of the USS Maine. It was a whoa. That was a very fancy. Go ahead.
Was this the first, the Second World War, or something like that?
No. This was the Spanish American War. Because prior to the Spanish American War, they had what they call the Monroe Doctrine. That was in the Monroe Doctrine was like an agreement that America came up with, policy that America came up with you can't have external countries outside out of the so-called Americas interfering in into the affairs of America or their neighbors, and that would be like a violation on any country that basically venture into certain territories within the Americas, including parts of the Caribbean, would be considered like an intrusion, which would be a justification of war. That was a Monroe Doctrine right there. So no, America now they send this Navy ship, the USS Maine, 1897, around the coast of Cuba, just to monitor the affairs going on between the conflict between the Spaniards who are ruling Cuba and the workers. Understand? So this was a very, very modern, sophisticated Navy ship, and it was this like superior to any in a ship from Spain or most other places. But it happened that the ship got blown up. It was like the ship was occupied by over 350 officers. 350 officers, naval officers. Understand? And 250 of them died. So more or less, only 100 or so survived. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, America was concerned. Who blew the ship up? Because there was no evidence that anyone from the Spanish Navy or military or wherever ventured near the ship to blow it up. So you were concerned that this might have been blown up by a mine. This was blown up by a mine that was someone planted in the water. We got it. Or or was it the Cubans, the Cuban natives who blew it up? So that was a big the big debate. So they conducted all kind of investigation. They conducted all kind of investigation to see what was who blew up that ship, the USS Maine. So of course, us knowing how the so-called white man operates, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, America wanted to expand. They wanted to expand, of course, and like Spain was in control of a lot of territories within this hemisphere because they were the first ones to venture here. Remember that America just it's like a Johnny come lately because they just got independence from Britain in 1776. You know what I'm saying? I know that of course they're very ambitious and try to expand and all that. You know what I'm saying? So but Spain was already established because Spain's been doing this from the 1400 or whatever. Because they were the first to come to this side of the world and establish colonies and all that. So it's possible. So even to this day, even though there's some people say, well, possibly America might have blown up themselves to start a war. To start a war with Spain, so they got dominate Spain. and take the territories, which include Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines, and other territories. Or it could have been the Cuban natives who did it to gain sympathy to have America, to force America to even pretend that it was Spain, to get America to fight the Spaniards on their behalf, to get the Spaniards off the back. You know what I'm saying? Or it might have been Spain himself who did it. You know what I'm saying? So, but even to this day. But regardless of what, but it turns out that even though it's basically inconclusive, even though it's inconclusive who actually blew it up, because some speculated that hey, it was actually a combustion from the coals that was used as energy to propel to move on the boat around. It was a combustion from the coal that caused the explosion. So a lot of people speculate that's what it was. Some say, yeah, America did it themselves just to start a war, because America's famous for that. Because even when they were the Rothschilds, you know what the Rothschilds are, man. One of them was there observing what was going on. Anytime any one of these guys are around, something's going down. And also after the war, because America after they did all the investigation they concluded that this was no accident. They couldn't prove that Spain did it, but basically by the process of elimination, meaning what? It's not an accident, and it wasn't the Cubans, so it must be the Spaniards. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was the basis of the investigation. So based on that, Congress back in that time, 1897, 1898, Congress they approved a $50 million a war, or $50 million dollars to finance a war. That was a lot. That was like 1898. That was like over 100 some years ago. I don't know how much money that what the equivalent of that would be today, but that was a lot of money back in the time, and they approved that within like 24 hours. So that was a real rush job. Yeah, just get this guy and get him real fast, hit him hard. So that war only lasted. So basically they invaded. They sent brought more of the naval ships down there. And they made war. That was a USS Maine what was this crowd that was using to hit with Spain? Remember the Maine? Remember the slogan? So that war only lasted like 3-4 months or so. In no time, Spain was destroyed. So in order to get America on their back, they had to the Spaniards were forced to sign a treaty with America. The treaty was called the Treaty of Paris. And the Treaty of Paris guarantees what? That Spain had to give up its rulership of Cuba, all those territories that Spain had in this hemisphere that it gave up. The rulership of Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Guam. And they also got the Philippines. Because the Philippines, that's basically I think that's kind of that side of east of Hawaii, around there, somewhere around there. Southeast Asia, somewhere around there. If you look at the geographical map, yeah, so they were going through some internal conflicts also. And a lot of them, Americans are treacherous, man. A lot of them helped to fight with America alongside America against Spain, hoping that America was going to give them independence once the war is over, then America turn around and slaughter them. Yeah, you never trust the enemy. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. So America get possession of all those territories: the Philippine Islands, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Guam. I believe was it a year or so ago? Remember that when the little conflict between Trump and the North Korea, a little standoff where North Korea was threatening to blow up Guam or something like that, to fire a missile in Guam, American territory. Yeah, that's Guam, and that's American territory. So you know America owns Hawaii, Alaska, those different territories outside of the mainland America. Guam is also that. Puerto Rico is also. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, even though Cuba is supposedly independent, America still owns part of Cuba, at Guantanamo Bay. And still have a naval base there, a military base or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So America still hold on to a lot of those territories. So get me Micah chapter 2 and 1. Remember the main? Yeah, to hell with Spain. Remember the main.
Michael 21, right?
Yeah. Oh, before I get Micah 2 and 1, all Micah 2 and 1, get me the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 21, verse 8. Ecclesiasticus 21, verse 8. Yeah.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other man's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial.
Right. That's what America did. He built his house with other men's money. Because all those territories he possessed will belong to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? He got the territory, he got a territory from Spain. Of course, it didn't belong to Spain in the first place. Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, the Philippines, Hawaii, all those places. He got them from all the Guam. He that built his house with other man's money. He's one that gathered stones for his tomb. I mean, it's digging his own pit. Right?
The congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. The way of sinners is made plain with stones.
Right. Now get Micah 2, verse 1. Micah 2, verse 1.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Right. Woe to them that devise iniquity and devise evil upon their beds. So, that's what happened, man. That's what the so-called, that's what America did. They devised iniquity. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When they go to bed at night, they meditate upon evil. You know what I'm saying? They contemplate in their mind what atrocities they can bring about. and now they can, or they can implement certain plans to benefit themselves at other people's expense. Read.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. They have the numbers. They control Congress. They control the Senate. They control the House of Representatives. They control the politicians, the president. So they got the power to do it. That's why the police, the various police departments. You know what I'm saying? They outnumber you. They're packed with our Ku Klux Klan members, man. And the judges and all that. You know what I'm saying? The system is packed with the supporters, sympathizers. So there's no justice for people. It's in their power to do whatever they want to do, whatever even they meditate upon in their own bed. Read.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house.
And they covet fields. And they covet fields and take them by violence. How did the so-called white man get America? By violence. By slaughtering the North American Indians. How did they get Puerto Rico? How did they get Cuba? How did they get Guam? Or the Philippines? They covered those islands. They took them by violence, by waging war against the people. And they cover the fields and take them by violence. Read. And houses and take them away. Read.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
And they oppress a man and his house. Even to this day they do that. Not too long ago, just a few years ago, when they had the mortgage, the meltdown in the economy, where they gave people all those predatory loans, mortgages, where you are paying a certain amount per month. Then all of a sudden you got hit with bills where are requiring to pay like 3, 4, 5 times the amount. People you're upside down in the mortgage. You have to say, you know what, come take it, man. All the down payments on the mortgage you paid before, all that vanished. All is a suppression. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day where they have a so-called gentrification, the redlining, all the strategies that they use to deprive you of your ownership of your house. That's the history of Esau. Read.
Verse 3. Therefore thus saith the outer one, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks.
Right. So that's a strategy. I want also this during this time here, after this war, the Spanish-American War, 1898, which only lasted like 3 months. One of the main sponsor of the bank, the Rockefellers, man. The Rockefellers, the bank, they made it real good. They were in control of the sugar industries in the West Indies, Cuba. All the sugar industries are they end up owning. Let me see what they own all the Rockefellers are they own. They became like the beneficiary of the war. These guys are whenever there's a war going on, man, they sponsor both sides of the war. That's the game they play. They can't lose. Both sides you gotta because war it takes money to wage war. Understand? And if you borrow a certain amount of money from them and you can't pay it back, whatever collateral you put up, yo, you can't pay back within a certain period of time, then okay. Now that land you had is mine. That business you had that they put up as collateral, no, it's mine. That's how they roll. So these guys are always instigating, and that's exactly what they did. And they have a history of that. Get me also Ezekiel 35 verse. Huh? 31, 35?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Their violence, because they have no shedding blood, right?
I can start on one.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Outer One came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate. And thou shalt know that I am the Outer One.
Right. So the Most High set his hands against Mount Seir. And he's going to make them desolate, which the Most High has made Mount Seir desolate. And it's modern day Mount Seir, which is America. Because the Mount Seir was, the Edomites, ancient Edomites dwelling place. Right now, America, even though they're scattered through to different parts of earth, America and Europe, the Most High is going to make the dwelling place also desolate in this time, especially America. Right?
Verse 5. Because thou had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, by the force of the sword in the time of the calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Outer One Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Right, the Most High said, Esau loves blood, man. He shed blood even the time of our peace. Esau's always contemplating upon his bed how we can shed our blood. And the Most High said, because of that, blood is going to pursue you. So when Esau thinks Esau is peace and safety, it's going to be sudden destruction for him. Right now, we're not in a position where we can rise up against Esau. And the Most High said what? Wait till upon him to rise up against the prey anyway. So we can't do that. But when it's time, the Most High, the Mashiach is going to raise us up. And blood shall pursue Esau through the four corners of this earth. Terror shall pursue on all sides. Read.
Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Outer One Power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, you don't hate blood. All that is going on this earth, shedding blood, waging war, sponsoring all kind of warfare. Read.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Mm-hmm. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills and thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Outer One.
Right. So you haven't heard anything about Mount Seir since that time. That's ancient Edomite land. And America, modern Mount Seir, modern Babylon, modern Egypt. You're not going to hear anything about America, man. You know what I'm saying? When the Most High brings when Mashiach Yahushua returns, it's going to be a perpetual wasteland. Right?
Verse 10. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine.
That's what Esau said. Back then, he said what? These two nations and these two countries. The nation of Israel over there today. What did Britain do? What do you call it? The Balfour Declaration in 1917. I'm going to go into that another time also. Or the appointed agreement that America made with England to give land of Israel to the so-called Jews. Yeah, they poured their land into their possession as if it was theirs. Esau goes on this earth, man, acting like the whole world belonged to him. Even when other people living there. That's why they said, Columbus discovers the Americas. People were here when they got here, so you found a place. That's the mentality of Esau, as if everybody else is irrelevant. They're the only ones who matter. That's why in due time, everybody is going to be here except for them. You act like nobody else matters except them. In due time, everybody is going to be here except them. That's what it's going to be. Because thou hast said, these two nations, the nation of Israel, what do you also say? What's the other nation? America. They say America belongs to them. The North American Indians were here. When it's been about possessing the land, putting the people on the Gadites, the Reubenites, the Seminoles, putting them all on the reservations. You know what I mean? You become like a squatter in your whole land. It's America. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it. Read.
Verse 11.
Read 10 again.
Verse 10. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, we will possess it, whereas the Most High was there.
And we will possess it, whereas the Most High was there. What does it mean, whereas the Most High was there? Anybody got a clue? Whereas that part where it says, whereas the Most High was there. These two countries and these two nations shall be mine, whereas the Most High was there. It's basically saying, these two countries, land of Israel, America, they're going to be mine anyway, even though the Most High's people was there. I don't care. That's a puffed up Esau is, man. That's the arrogance in a man. I don't care if them so-called, Native Indians are in America. I want this land. I don't care if this, my people are in Cuba, the Most High's people in Cuba. I want this land. I don't care if the Ephraimites and the Taino Indians, the Boricos are in Puerto Rico. I want this land. That's all they know. I don't care if they're so-called Jamaicans or in Jamaica, so-called Haitians or in Haiti. I want their land. That's the mentality. You are irrelevant to them. That's why in process of time, they shall be irrelevant to the Most High and to us. Verse 11.
Verse 11. Therefore, as I live, saith the outer one power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
Right. So the Most High said, therefore, as I live, said the Most High, I will even do according to thine anger. I will deal with you according to the anger that you had against them. That's how angry I am going to be against you. Understand? And according to thine envy. When you envy someone, they got something that you want. They got something that you think you should have. And according to thine envy, thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Because of the hatred that you have for them, you envy them for what they got. Read.
Out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee.
And I will make myself known amongst them when I have judged you. Yeah, the Most High is going to make himself known to us. Right now, all people don't know the Most High, man. You see looking up to the fake image, he's about jail. Looking up to Allah. Looking at Buddha, Krishna, you know what I mean? Walking around not caring about nothing. Alienated from the commonwealth of Israel. In gross darkness. The Most High said he will make himself known amongst his people when he has judged Esau. Understand? The man of perdition is going to be revealed to our people. So we can say, that's him right there. That's what that's talking about. Read.
And thou shalt know that I am the Otter One, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume.
Right, that's what they're saying right now. The blasphemies that they've uttered the mouths against us, saying, well, we are desolate. The niggas ain't nothing. They're here to serve us. I mean, that's what they say when they are, have their own secret council and all that. That's what they say when they talk to each other amongst themselves. Even when they laugh with you in your face, pretending to be your friends, when they get together behind your back and talk with each other, you best believe that's what they're saying. We are their possession. We are there to serve them. And you can see by the policies that they make in any branch of government, all those policies that they make are what? To our detriment. Now get 36 and 5. Yeah.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 26, verse 5.
36.
Oh. You should give the
1992?
No, never mind.
Yeah, 36 and 5.
Is it 36 and 5 or
36 and 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 5. Therefore saith the odd one power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into the possession, with the joy of all their heart, and with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
Right. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the nation, and against all Idumea. So the Most High is speaking on angrily against the residue of the nations, the heathens, and against Idumea specifically. Read. Which have appointed, read on.
Which have appointed my land into their possession.
That's what they did. That's what they got Spain. That's what they got Cuba. That's what they got Puerto Rico. In 1898. They appointed the Most High's land into their possession. That's what they got Guam. That's what they even got the Philippines. That's what they got Hawaii. You know that's how they got America. You know they got the land of Israel. You were there. We got kicked out. All of a sudden they think it belongs to them because they got the might. But the Most High said he's speaking against them in his anger, in his wrath, particularly against Idumea, because of how they went about appointing the Most High's land into their possession as if the Most High's land belonged to them, when it belongs to the Most High people anyway. Right?
Have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
Right. Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, and they were happy to do so, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. So we were like a prey. They just preyed upon us, man. They were like predators preying upon the weaklings who were indefensible. So they took advantage of that. Get me Jeremiah 12:14. Let me see what that says. Right.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 14. Thus saith the outer one, against all my evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit, behold.
Right. Thus said the Most High against all my evil neighbors. Because it's like, let's talk about all nations, because all nations, had a part in Israel inheritance, man. Especially as pertaining to us as people, because all nations had a role in slavery, in enslaving our people. Read Psalms 83, they were confederates against us. Go ahead, all right?
First Maccabees 2 and 10.
What I got? Read that. No, you got to read. First Maccabees 2 and 10. Go ahead, read it.
Okay. It says, what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Right. That's like a rhetorical question. We all know the answer. There ain't no nation who hadn't a part in our inheritance and our spoil. They all had a part, man. They all took part in our demise. They just divided the spoil, claim it to be their own to this very day. You try to set up a business, man. They won't give you no loan. Say, hey, your credit is bad. Your plan is bad. Your business plan is bad. You can't get a student loan to go and get a college degree. I give you qualify you if you get a certain job. All nations play their part in our demise, man. Go back to Jeremiah 12:14.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 14. Thus says the outer one, against all my evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit, behold, I will pluck them out of their land, and pluck out the house of Judah from among them.
Right. The Most High said, he's going to pluck them out of their land and pluck the house of Judah from amongst them. So the Most High is going to what? Deliver his people from amongst the nations. Who had us among them, exploiting us for their own gain, for their own political and economical gain. Read.
And it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return, and have compassion on them, and will bring them again, every man to his heritage, and every man to his land.
Right. And it shall come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return. So the Mashiach Yahushua is going to return. I was plucked out, delivered from amongst a nation, and have compassion on us, mercy upon us. And what? Acknowledge our repentance and forgive us of our transgression. And will bring them again, every man to his heritage. We are going to know, hey, we Hebrew Israelites. No, we ain't a nigga speaks of wetbacks. That's the names, the derogatory names that the so-called white men and the other nations gave us, man. Hey, we are. We Jews, the Hebrew Israelites, sons and daughters of the Most High. And every man to his land. So all the tribes are going to be restored to the lands plus other territories that the Most High is going to give to us. Read.
And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, to swear by my name, the outer one liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then they shall be built in the midst of my people.
Right. So, this is the remnant of the Edomites who are going to be serving us. And once you acknowledge that, the Most High is the power, Yahushua is the King of Israel, and the Hebrew Israelites are chosen in the Most High, then the Most High will let them live in the land among us. Understand? After the service, in servitude to us. That's what this is talking about right here. Verse 16. And it shall come to pass, if the heathens will diligently learn the ways of my people. They have to search out the ways, like microphone once says. Let us go up to the Israelites, because let them teach us of the ways of the Most High. To swear by my name, to swear by the Most High's name, forget their idols, their man-made idols, the doctrines and the religions. The Lord liveth. That's what they're going to be saying. Yahweh, Shalamah shall liveth. As they taught my people to swear by Baal, just like they taught our people to worship their idols, they're going to have to take heed to our teaching to worship the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushai. Then shall they be built in the midst of my people. Then the ones who are going to be serving us, will live. Read.
But if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, saith the other one.
Right. But if they will not obey, if they keep resisting, the Most High will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation. By Shalamah. So this is just a synopsis of the Spanish-American War, which went down in 1898 between America and Spain, where Spain, which colonized certain territories in the Americas, particularly Cuba and Puerto Rico, were oppressing the Israelites in Cuba, and America under the pretense of defending the Cubans, the inhabitants of the land who were being ruled by the Spaniards, sent their naval ship, which was under the captaincy of Theodore Roosevelt, who later became president. And then that ship got blown up. To this day, it's not conclusive how it got blown up. A lot of different theories as to how it got blown up internally. It was a combustion. All that. But whatever happened to America, they were so itching for a war. They were instigated by a war by the warmongers who can benefit financially from this war. They attacked the Spaniards and destroyed the Spaniards, and they forced them to sign a treaty called the Treaty of Paris in 1898, where the Spaniards were forced to give up Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. I understand. So that's what happened. And the beneficiary of that war was predominantly the Rockefellers, because they own this bank called the National City Bank. Understand? And immediately after the war, because Cuba was the thriving sugar producing country, and sugar was a major crop, major product during that time, as it is today. I understand. And immediately after that, the Rockefellers, through this bank, National City Bank, became the owners of just about all the sugar manufacturing and processing companies, because the role that they played in financing the war. Understand? So, and that's something regularly that the Illuminatis do throughout history. They sponsor different the world wars. They sponsor all those wars, man. And I'm saying both sides of the war. So, say I'm the Rockefellers, and you two got a conflict. I just instigated. You know what I'm saying? That's instigated. Because these guys they're not loyal to the particular country per se. They're just loyal to the people, regardless of who the people happen to be. So once they're ruling, it's about the people. That's what we need to. That's a mindset that we need to have, especially since we're a minority in all these different countries. We're scattered. We need to be loyal to our people. Understand? Waiting to be brought back to our homeland. Understand? As opposed to being loyal to in a particular country per se. We can seek dominance in the countries where it's beneficial to our people in a whole, but our loyalty should be, because that's the way America is. Even the so-called African Americans who are born and grown here, you know what I'm saying? Other people from other nations, and that's why the Most High said, "What the stranger within you shall get up above thee." He gave them grants and all that. Give them land. Historically, they would give them land to come over here, so that there could be a majority. So once you're a majority over you, then perpetually they will get to rule over you. And that's the game that they played, the numbers game that they played against our people. So that I'm gonna finish up on that, and maybe next week, most I willing, I continue with one of the other nation that was part of the three nations that fell to the little horn, which is America, which came out of the 10 horns, one of the 10 horns, which was the Roman Empire. Come. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. I'm going to say Madu Wapanya Yarashalam. Psalm 33. Psalm 133. Shayar, Hama Ilwath, Ladawad, Hana, Ma, Tawab, Wama, Naayam, Shabath, Akyam, Gam, Yakad, Kashaman, Hatawab, Il, Haraash, Yarad, Il, Azakwan, Zakwan, Haaran, Shayarad, Il, Paya, Madawatyawa, Katal, Karamwan, Shayarad, Il, Araria, Tazayawan, Kaya, Sham, Tazawa, Yahawa, Ath, Abaraka, Kayawam, Al, Asham, Mashiach, Yahushai, Awada, Aman. Kan. Shalom, Yasharala. That concludes today's service. Shalom, Captain Marsha. Kan, Bashamash Kawashai. May the Most High grant you speedy recovery. Kazak, Masha, Rapa, Masha, Bashamash Kawashai. And don't forget, Israel watching out there. Tomorrow, 12 Eastern Time, the Shabbat service. The water.